Okay, so we got this side, passenger side, O2 sensor with that spacer slash cheat device slash mini catalytic converter thingy installed. And while the engine's running and checking diagnostics, it does appear to actually work. Now, I failed my mission on getting the one on the driver's side off. I completely rounded it off. I broke a pipe wrench, broke a set of vice grips. Can't get it off, so I'm going to have to take it somewhere and have them get it off. And in the meantime, I went ahead and did the transmission range selector down there, and we still have a code. So that does not seem to have fixed our problem. So here's what I think we can do. It's going to show our same code, the P0705, which is transmission range selector circuit, and then it says something else after that. Transmission range sensor A circuit. PRNDL input. So, do we have any pending codes? No. Okay. So, we're going to attempt to fix this P0705. Now, I do have the factory service manual, and I'll probably resort to that if this little fix that I'm going to attempt doesn't work. So here's what we're going to attempt. How much of this is ready, I wonder? We have catalyst incomplete, evap incomplete, O2 monitoring incomplete. So the and EGR incomplete. Okay, well, we're going to have everything incomplete here in a minute because we're going to disconnect the battery. So here's what we're doing. We're going to... So if you look in here, there's an awful lot of play. Right? So this is parked, but it moves around an awful lot. A little too much. So if we put it in reverse, still have a bunch of play. Neutral. Still quite a bit of play. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an assistant to move this around while I go under the car to see if this actually moves that little sensor. So here's what we're going to do. Now, this was like this, remember, because somebody put another ignition in here. So if you look up in here, okay, at the bottom of the ignition, there's this little ball bearing kind of deal. I'm sorry, this freaking key tag keeps hanging down on the way. And you have to stick something up in there. Screwdriver. Normally this is in here and you just poke your screwdriver up through this hole. And with the key in the on position, that kind of releases the lock, that ball bearing, and then you can pull the ignition out. So we're going to pull the ignition out. We're going to take this piece of plastic down. We're going to take this bottom part off, this top part off, and then we're going to go in here and then we're going to replace the shifter tube bushings. And then after we do that, we're going to hopefully get rid of the slack, and then hopefully that light will go out and stay out. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, I'll have to admit defeat on this one too, and then when I have them take the oxygen sensor out, I'll unfortunately have to have them figure out what the hell's actually wrong with this. Or I can consult the factory service manual and we'll see how that goes. But that's our next order of operations. Oh, and there's only one more thing, and maybe you guys know this. I'm going to assume these lights are supposed to glow at night, but they actually don't. So I don't know how to... I don't know, maybe I just pry these out? I don't know. But I'm thinking there's probably supposed to be bulbs behind here that work, and they're not. I don't know. They look like they would glow. But if you know, let me know. Although by the time this comes out, I probably would have pried this off and taken a peek-see anyway. Because by the time I release this, all the work would have already been done, but whatever. Alright, first things first, we're going to go get to work. Okay, so we got the ignition out, sitting right there. Remember, just turn the key to the on position, and then your little ball bearingy guy, that guy. I just push the screwdriver up through there, unlocked it, and then you just pull the cylinder out. I got this plastical piece off. Now mine only had the one 7mm under here, and then the other 7mm that's in this little parking brake release assembly. These little guys. It's probably supposed to have more, but that's all I had. And then of course these funny looking push penny deals. I had 1, 2, 3. I'm guessing there's supposed to be a 4 and a 5. But I don't know. So obviously somebody's been in here before. Hence the different ignition. So okay. Now we got to take this down. I'm guessing that's a 12 mil. And we should have, it's like 112, 112, 1, 2, so there's 3 on the top, 2 on the bottom. That'll get this metal thing out of the way, and then we can work on getting this plastical cladding off and dropping down this steering column. And we can get to them bushings. Okay, so metal deals off, and I did lie, those were 10mm, not 12. And now we can get to dropping this guy down. So we got these 2 big nuts right here, and then 2 more on the other side. There. And if you can see up in there, over there, those are 13 mils. Now, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck this thing is. I got like this random connector down here that's not connected to anything. So, I don't know what that goes to. Couldn't tell you. Because my plastical deal doesn't have, you know, I mean, it only has the hole for my e-brake release, so don't know what this goes to. Couldn't tell you. What's more is underneath there is another thing, this thing, if you can see it. It's like I got a red wire, I think, and a white wire. It's a gray connector sitting by the steering column, steering shaft here. I don't know what that goes to. I don't see anything else loose or hanging, or, you know, a connector somewhere that's naked that would plug into. So I got 2 connectors that don't go to anything. Now maybe those were options that this just doesn't have. Like maybe one of these went to a cruise control light or something, or maybe the pedal adjustments, if it had those in these years. I don't really know. I have no clue what this goes to. What the fuck could this thing go to? Don't know. I don't see anything missing. But in any case, we're going to bust those 4 things off. I found 2 Phillips that were holding this plastical thing on. There's probably supposed to be more, but both of mine were on this side. There was 1 on the side and then 1 on the underneath. So I got the plastic piece off. So we're going to take those 4 things down, drop this down. I should be able to then easily get the top plastic piece off, and then we'll see those bushings, then we can change them out. In the meantime, maybe I'll see if I can figure out what the hell these things go to. Because I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. I was hoping maybe once I saw that gray thing under there, that guy disconnected, I was like, oh shit, maybe I'll get lucky and that's just supposed to be the thing that's connected to my range selector somewhere. Nope, can't find anything for it to go to, so, you know, no dice on that one. But we'll get back to working and see you in a bit. Okay, so with our everything where it's supposed to be now, our battery was disconnected because I don't know what all these wires go to. Imagine some of the airbag, and I don't want them problems. Moved our boot out of the way. I took all of our nuts down, 2 in the back. Look like they're adjustable, so I marked them with a paint marker. My yellow paint marker Sharpie. Took the front down. I got this thing, it's kind of sitting on that little metal dealio right there, so it isn't all the way down, but I think I can still get a good angle in here to fix it. So what we're going to go ahead and do now, so if we look, we have a little bit of play. Is this enough to really make a difference? I don't know. I guess. I mean, that does kind of move a little. My foot's not on the brake, but it is moving. So this bushing's past it. That bushing back here probably also past it. So I think these are T30s. So we're going to go ahead and take that strap off, take this strap off. I got my new bushings inside. I'm going to go ahead and lube them up with some white lithium grease. I'm going to Loctite these straps down. And then hopefully, when that's done, this won't do this. But we'll know soon enough, I guess. Because see, it still kind of moves a little in here. Even if you don't go to the extreme of moving the tube. And I don't know if there's any way to really fix this kind of play. Other than maybe shoving, you know, I don't know. This is when you pull it towards you, the kind of play we got. I mean, it's supposed to move, but not really supposed to do any of that side-to-side stuff, I think, but whatever. Bushings look pretty rough. We'll go ahead and get them out and get the new ones in. All right, boys, as you can see, we got our little brackets off. Straps, maybe. You want to call them that? And there's where our bushings used to be. So we'll go ahead and get the new ones on. Lube them up and then get this beast back together. And hopefully that code goes away. Probably won't, because my life sucks, but you never know, it might. Here's the lip of one of them bushings. There's our spent bushings. And our new bushings are in there. We're going to go ahead and get some white lithium grease, lube them up, put them in, get this beast back together. So we have white lithium greased our bushings and our tube. The whole tube and the valley where it sits and the straps. So we got lube everywhere, white lithium, and then I went ahead and Loctited both those T30s and these two T30s. So now we're going to go ahead, put our boot back on. I ended up taking this big metal strap, that other one that was holding these things up, this thing up, so I get better access at that one. So that's got to go back. I disconnected the little needle guy, which was like a little cable. This little cable right here, this loop was looped around this guy, and then the black thing that this threads into this little circle. I marked it with paint right there, so I can put it back exactly where it was, so my needle will be lined up. So got to get this up first. So once we get this secured, I can go ahead and put all that other stuff back, but we should get it back together, and then hopefully that light goes away. If not, I'll get underneath again. I will check to make sure that our neutral safety switch / transmission range selector is in fact lined up in neutral, and if it is, then I have no idea what the problem is, and we're going to have to admit defeat and take it to a shop and have them figure out what the problem is. Okay, so we got our shifter mechanism back where it goes. Threaded back to the paint mark, and let me see if I can show you guys. See, so that's how that goes on there. And if you look now, that's all the way down. We are in first, and then as we go back up, second, drive, neutral, reverse, and park. And if you look down here, we still have a little bit of play here, but there's nothing we can really do. That's just the way that is. But the tube itself no longer moves. Alright, so that should be good. I put the steel plate with these 8 mils back in place. Those 3 So now we just need to put our plastic deal here, the underneath part, put the plastical trim back over there, and then put the battery back together, and then we'll see if we failed or not, if this fixes the issue. Boys, moment of truth, battery's hooked back up. Oh my god, the light's gonna come back on. The overdrive light is flashing. Motherfucker. Alright boys, so here's what we have discovered. I went underneath the car, I made sure all the connections were good, I pulled the sensor off, right, plugged it back in, reaffixed it, made sure it's where it needs to be, and cleared the codes. Now, check this out. Stored codes. None. Let's go pending codes. None. Now, check this shit out. Okay, so it's in neutral. Drive. All's good. Reverse. Okay, it engaged. Park. See, the overdrive light is on now, and check engine light came on. So if we go to read codes, we're going to go stored codes, transmission range sensor, P0705. Now earlier it was a pending code, but now it's a legitimate code. So for some reason, if you avoid park, you can avoid this code. So here's what we're going to have to do to beat the emissions. I need to get everything ready, and the only way to do that is to drive it. So what we're going to have to do is just avoid park with the engine running. In other words, I cannot start the car in park. I'm not going to shut the car off in park. Neutral only. So we're going to do that for a while, and I'll get back with you guys and let you know if that works. If we can get everything ready, with the exception of, well, hopefully we get everything ready. We can go with one not ready, one incomplete rather, and then we can't have any codes. But this transmission range code's going to keep coming back on. So the only way to get rid of it, I'm thinking, is somehow service we'll just avoid park. Because it's just, I mean, see, the light's on now. You put it in neutral, overdrive is still flashing. Put it in drive, and we'll see if it goes off. When the code was pending, it would stop flashing once you put it in gear. Okay, well, the code's active, I'm guessing, then it won't. Ah, there it is. See, it goes off. Still shows an active code, so, all right, neutral. Alright, so I'm going to clear them out, and then we're going to start driving around, not shifting in park, and we'll see how long we can go without that code showing up as pending or on.